Have you installed iOS 13, or perhaps bought a new iPhone with the new operating system installed on it? Here are settings you should change and tweaks you should make to harden the security and lock down your device, along with a tour of some of the new security and privacy features built into the platform. Number 1. Set a really strong passcode. Good iOS security starts with having a really strong passcode. If this is something that's easily guessable, then everything else you do is pretty much pointless. No matter whether you use Face ID or Touch ID to access your iPhone, you still need a passcode, and the longer the passcode you can use, and remember, the better. Go to Settings, Face ID and Passcode, or Touch ID and Passcode on older iPhones, enter your existing passcode, and then tap on Passcode Options to get a set of options. Choose between Custom Alphanumeric Code, the most secure, or Custom Numeric Code, second best option, or 4-digit numeric code. I don't recommend this last option. Number 2. Block unknown callers. This is a great way to get rid of nuisance and spam callers. To enable this feature, go to Settings, Phone Greater Than, and toggle to silence unknown callers. Number 3. Block apps from having Bluetooth access. After you install iOS 13, you might find a whole swathe of apps such as Facebook asking you for permission to transmit data over Bluetooth. You can either allow or deny access when the prompts are displayed, or you can head over to Settings, Privacy, Bluetooth, and make the changes there. Number 5. Make sure iOS automatic updates are enabled. iOS 13 has the ability to keep itself updated automatically, which is a great way to make sure that your iPhone is fully patched. This should be set up automatically, but you can check it over at Settings, General, Software Update, and making sure automatic updates is enabled. Number 6. Wi-Fi tracking is blocked under iOS 12. It was possible to track iPhone and iPad users by the public Wi-Fi points the device was connecting to silently as the owner went about their business. This ability has now been blocked under iOS 13, so you can wander about without the fear of being tracked. Number 7. Take control over location sharing. Another thing you might have noticed after installing iOS 13 is that you get notifications informing you that apps are using your location's data, and giving you the option of allowing this to continue or blocking it. Don't worry, you can change your mind by going to Settings, Privacy, Location Services, and changing permissions for your apps. Number 8. Find your devices. iOS 13 has a cool new app called Find My, which you can use to locate your friends and family, share your location, or find a missing device. This app has two cool features. One is Enable Offline Finding, that helps you find lost devices that aren't connected to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. The other is Send Last Location, which sends the device's location to Apple when the battery is low. Number 9. Control what Touch ID. Face ID is used to authenticate. Do you want the convenience of Face ID or Touch ID, or do you rather the additional protection that having to enter your passcode offers? iOS 13 allows you to switch Face ID, Touch ID on and off for iPhone. Unlock iTunes and App Store. Apple Pay password autofill. Go to Settings, Face ID and Passcode, or Touch ID and Passcode on older iPhones, and enter your existing passcode to take control of this. Number 10. Control access to what's accessible when the iPhone or iPad is locked. Control how much, or how little, you want to be accessible on a locked device. iOS 12 gives control over the following. Today: View Notification Center, Control Center, Siri, Reply with Message, Home Control, Wallet, Return Missed Call, USB accessories. The bottom line is that the more you lock down, the more secure your device and data will be. The USB accessories feature is especially useful, because it will prevent the Lightning port being used to connect to any accessory if your iPhone or iPad has been locked for more than an hour. Go to Settings, Face ID and Passcode, or Touch ID and Passcode on older iPhones, and enter your existing passcode to take control of this. Number 11. Set brute force protection. iOS has built-in brute force protection to prevent an unauthorized user from trying to guess your passcodes. Go to Settings, Face ID and Passcode, or Touch ID and Passcode on older iPhones, enter your existing passcode, and scroll down to erase data. After 10 attempts, toward the end there will be a time lockout to slow down the entry process. The encryption key will be deleted and your data wiped. Number 12, check for password reuse. If you use the iCloud keychain to store web passwords, you can now use this to check for password reuse, which is bad, so don't do it. Go to Settings, Passwords and Accounts, Website and App Passwords, and authenticate with either Face ID, Touch ID or your passcode. You will see a gray triangle with an exclamation mark next to any entry that is reused. To change the password, tap Change Password on website. Number 13, reduce the lock screen timeout. The shorter you set the lock screen timeout setting, there are options ranging from 30 seconds to never. The faster your iPhone or iPad display will require authentication to access it. You can change the auto lock time by going to Settings, Display and Brightness, Auto Lock. Number 14, disable biometrics to force passcode entry. Here's a simple trick to know that allows you to disable Face ID or Touch ID and force the use of the passcode. To do this, press the power button 5 times. Just be sure to cancel the SOS emergency calling feature if you have this activated. Number 15, set up two-factor authentication. One of the best ways to protect your data is to set up and use two-factor authentication. This means that, even if an attacker has your iCloud username and password, Apple will send an authentication code of a device you've chosen, which should block most attacks. Go to Settings and tap your name at the top of the screen, then go to Password and Security, then choose Two-Factor Authentication. Also, protect yourself, how to choose the right two-factor authenticator app. While setting up two-factor authentication, you can also set up a recovery key. Once set, without this key, or another device signed in with your Apple ID, you will not be able to reset your password. Number 16, control notification. Data leakage. Notifications displayed on the lock screen can leak sensitive information. To stop this, go to Settings, Notifications, Show Previews and change the setting to when unlocked or never. Number 17, more control with Safari. Under iOS 13, the Safari browser now has the ability to control access to features such as the camera, the microphone, and current location on a per-site basis. Go to Settings, Safari and look for the toggles under Settings for websites. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and share with iOS user.